Hello, today we'll be talking about the UTRID-16, how to use it, how to get it ready for first use, how to configure it, and how to interpret the data that you get from it. This is the UTRID-16 model, also called the LogDisp USB. So it features the log tag with the display and the USB, so you can plug directly into your computer. First step will be to configure it on LogTag Analyzer, so we'll switch to that program now. And what you want to do first is you want to plug your log tag into the USB port of your PC. Once connected, it will show this that it has no reading stored in this memory. We'll just click OK, or it will disappear by itself. And in the top left corner, we'll go to log tag and then configure. Once this window loads, you'll be able to change the settings on your log tag. So we could add a description such as fridge, excuse my spelling, fridge. We can change our logging parameters, so push button start is what I ideally leave it at. This allows you to turn the device on as soon as you hold down the start button. We want to select record readings continuously, overwrite orders from memory full. What this does is it stops the log tag from pausing recordings once the memory gets full, and will continuously record and overwrite the oldest recording. If you don't want that, you can leave this as record readings, so that means your logger will span 56 days before it stops recording. You can change this by changing how many recordings it takes per minute. So our one is default set to 5 minutes, but if you change this to say 20 minutes, you'll see that this will now span 224 days. If we change it to 40 or 50 minutes, it'll change to 560 days, and then you can change the hours, minutes, seconds, etc. But we'll leave it as 5 minutes because we're doing a vaccine fridge in this case. We'll leave this as recorded reading continuously. You can add a delay so that your log tag has time to cool down before it goes into the fridge. Often, if it's at room temperature, it can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to cool down to your fridge temperature. So we'll add a 10-minute delay on here. Next, we'll change our temperature thresholds. So for a vaccine fridge, we want this to be 8 degrees as the upper and 2 degrees as the lower. You can set further parameters here, but usually I find it easiest to just leave it as 8 and 2. And then we want to turn on the alarms for it. So we'll change this to 2 consecutive. And that means if it records 2 readings above 8 degrees for more than 10 minutes, you'll begin seeing an alarm occur on your display screen. And we'll change this for the lower threshold as well. In the advanced settings, what I like to do here is I like to select clear and reset all alarms when start mark button pressed. This allows you to acknowledge on the device itself when an alarm occurs. Now I'll tick off allow logging stop with stop button, because what I find is a lot of people accidentally press the stop button without knowing, and the device stops recording and you end up with a reading that has stopped at a random interval. All these other settings you can leave on or off depending on what you like, but I usually just leave all of them off. File settings we can leave as what they are defaulted as unless you wish to change that yourself. And then down the bottom we'll just hit configure. This will now get the log tag ready for next use, and you'll see here it has now configured. You can see 3 green ticks in the top left corner here, and it says configured in this loading bar here. So now it's ready to be turned on. To turn on the log tag, or once the log tag has been configured, you'll see that it says ready on this little screen here. It might be a little bit unclear, but it says ready there, and it says 4:23 as the current time. And it took that time from our computer when we configured it just now. Now what we need to do, we'll hold down the start button for about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see it's on standby. So that means it's got the delay. You can see here it says delay, and the interval is 10 minutes before it begins recording. Now, through movie magic, we're going to wait. Come back in 10 minutes and you can begin seeing it recording. So now what you can see on this log tag, since it has turned on, you can see that there is a tick in the top left corner which shows that there's been no excursion of the temperature yet. You can see that the REC shows as record, which indicates that it is on and it is recording. You can see the current temperature it has recorded is 23.1 degrees and the current time is 4:25.